From MTN, the Montana Television Network, this is Face the State.
Hello there and welcome to Face the State. I'm Jill Valley, and today we're talking about the University of Montana as it celebrates its 126th birthday with the annual Charter Day celebration. It is a chance to honor those who've contributed to the university and a chance to celebrate the role UM plays in Missoula, Western Montana, and across the state and region. Joining me today, Charter Day Coordinator Angela Weisenberger, UM Communications Director Paula Short, and Jed Liston, who is the Alumni Director for the University of Montana. We have a full house here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Jill.
You bet. Let's talk about Charter Days. That's coming up, the big celebration next week. What is so significant about that? I know that the university chartered the school back in 1893. I think it's an idea that's lasting. They did a good job there.
Yeah,
we're still around, right?
Yeah.
And you have people you're honoring and you're celebrating this milestone in UM's history. Why is that so important?
It's really important for us to recognize the faculty, staff, the alumni, our friends around the city and the state that are contributing to the university and where it's at today.
And there are 11 people who are being specifically honored. There are awards from the Alumni Award to the Presidential Service Award. Who are these people and how would they have been selected to be recognized for their contributions?
So there's a variety of committees across campus that select them. We have one from the Associated Students of the University of Montana, ASUM. They select a student that contributes to their program in some significant way. We have awards that come out of the Office of the President, the George M. Dennison Award for faculty and for staff, and then we have an award that comes out of the College of Business, one that comes out of the Provost's office. So it's a variety of areas around campus that are looking to honor people in their particular area.
And a lot of them are people in the business community or out in the community, maybe not directly currently connected to the school, yet they are still contributing because I feel like there's a lot of community support behind this institution, and that's probably a real key factor in your success. Like, how does the community react to the school and why is it so important?
Well, the town-gown relationship is so important. Missoula and the University of Montana are symbiotic. They really function together, and the things that attract students to the University of Montana definitely include Missoula, and we have over 20,000 alumni living in Missoula in the area, and 50,000 in Montana. So it's always we're always looking to improve our relationships and connect and really build partnerships with the local community.
When you talk about alumni, those who are here, how do you keep them engaged, especially maybe those who have moved away? Because it's easy to be a Grizz fan when you're in town, but
right.
They're all over the world.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Jill. We're starting a new initiative to open up chapters of local communities. We have 3 that are going to be started this year outside the state and 1 in the state, and we have a plan for the next 3 years to build this 3+1 model of connecting alumni in Seattle, Spokane, Billings, and the Bay Area this year, and it'll give alumni a chance to network with each other and assist the university. We have a large campaign going on right now where alumni across the nation have signed up to actually do handwritten notes to our students who are applied and accepted right now. So a student may get a note from an alum in Oklahoma, a local alum, to say, this is how much the university meant to me, and I hope you'll consider coming. So we really try to do many engagement opportunities. We engage alumni by having, when our faculty go out and are at conferences or workshops, we might gather a whole group of alumni in that area and hear a lecture. And we're also doing a new concept called Grizz on Taps. So we're having Grizz on Taps at local brew houses and other places to gather alumni and just share the camaraderie, the common bond that we all have. I know that people have experienced this. Whenever I wear a Grizzly shirt in an airport, no matter where it is, you'll hear "Go Grizz," and it's a 1 degree of separation between all of our alums. And one thing that we're very proud of is how much our alumni are engaged in Montana in each in their various communities. You know, we have people like Wayne Nelson in Billings. His bank, the Stockman Bank in Billings, was the first one to reach out and assist those furloughed employees when the government shut down, and Wayne was the spearhead of that. And we have many people across Montana, you know, Vanessa Buckland and Conrad and other places where if you have a pharmacist in your town in Montana, likely there are pharmacists and they're a graduate of the university. So our alums are engaged in building communities all over the state and all over the world.
How can some of the local businesses, or even around the state, how can they help support the regular student? I know with this program they write them notes, but on an everyday basis, is there anything the town can do to reach out to kids who are out there doing their thing every day on campus?
I think the things to remember is that we are all ambassadors of the University of Montana. We all have some benefit of having this university, this institution in this town, in this city. It has built the city of, I mean, it's the heart of the university, or the Missoula area. So they exist together.
They do, and they also benefit when you have 26,000 people at a football game,
yeah.
Or as we watch the Grizzly basketball teams, you know, working their way up in the conference.
Or when the students come back in the fall and you see life come back into the city, it's amazing.
There is a difference when they're not here, isn't that true?
Sometimes it's a good one, sometimes
Well,
traffic.
And I think I would say the KPAX actually, and the MTN network demonstrates this every day. You hire our students as interns or even as employees. And so what local businesses can do is give our students a chance to intern. You'll be amazed on how really talented they are. I know that Billings is now doing an initiative. The economic development arm of Billings is actually doing an initiative to attract interns from the University of Montana to stay the summer in Billings and hopefully fall in love with it and become you know, employees and workers and economic drivers in the Billings area.
Kind of keep them in the state and help the bottom line. So yeah, that is kind of a definite important relationship. As communications director, what are you hearing? What are you hearing about UM and the community and the things that you're being able to offer kids and businesses?
Sure. You know, the University of Montana is such a special place, and for 126 years, and I think everybody has that University of Montana memory, or that time, that slice of time where they were here on campus if they went to school here. And as an alumna myself, I mean, I remember well setting foot on the campus. It was a June day, and I came as an 18-year-old ready for orientation, and I just set foot on campus and I felt like I was home. And so it's really fun to relive that. And I think as we see more students coming to the University of Montana, one of the things that I think we're working really hard to do is really showcase and make sure that the story about the University of Montana really reflects what is actually going on campus. And so things like our strength in sciences and some of the work of our distinguished alumni who are wonderful ambassadors. I mean, many students look up to our alums and they aspire to be like them, and they wonder how they got their start. And you know, the University of Montana, our offerings in undergraduate research and our accessibility and affordability for students are really key. And of course, we're here for the students of Montana, as well as our out-of-state and international students. That really adds a richness to the campus. And so for us, it's, you know, it's certainly telling folks what the University of Montana is about, but I know from my personal experience, getting them onto our beautiful campus and into our beautiful city here in Missoula is, for many of them, what is the deciding factor for them to become a Grizz.
Now, we just had the spring enrollment numbers come down, and there were some bright spots, especially when it comes to retention, students coming back. But what is your assessment of kind of how that's looking with this spring semester and who's signing up to go to class?
You know, we're really encouraged, and we're encouraged about some key indicators of, for example, persistence from fall to spring, and also retention first year to second year. So enrollment is such a multifaceted number when you're trying to hit that. I mean, it's bringing in new students, but it's also transfer students and graduate students, and it's that ever important retention of first year to second year, because we know that that is a key indicator of whether a student will ultimately persist to graduation, as if we can get them to persist freshman to sophomore year. And then coming in from fall and returning to spring, we have, you know, students for whatever reason have challenges coming back in the spring, and so supporting them and making sure that they can come back for spring semester and then we can see them again in the fall, or our expanded summer offerings. I mean, really what it is for us at the end of the day, I mean, the number will be what it is, but it's about transforming lives and making sure that the students that come here have the best chance to persist to graduation and go on to have great lives of service and impact.
Now, you do have recruitment efforts. I understand we hired someone, Kathy Cole.
We did?
Yes, to kind of help with that recruiting thing. How are you guys reaching out, maybe in new ways, to find that high school kid or the person in the junior college who wants to come to a university?
Sure. Well, I know Vice President Cole has mentioned we're working a lot on just some of the mechanics of outreach, and so whether that's our targeted marketing materials and really making sure that all of the information that we send out has the right look and feel and really accurately depicts the University of Montana. I know Vice President Cole has also really invested in trying to find our best fit student. So we want that student that can come here and be successful at the university and can get the degree that they're seeking and can plan their path. And of course, we all know that it's more than just your field of study. I mean, there's that technical expertise that is very important, but those other somewhat intangible things like your leadership skills and problem solving and the ability to work with a team and the ability to be agile, especially in today's workplace where it requires you to pivot often and to learn new skills and sort of adapt on the fly. And so we're really pushing forward with those skills in addition to whatever your chosen field of study is. The University of Montana can equip you for whatever career you ultimately end up choosing, which may or may not be the thing that you think you're going to do right now.
I have a coworker who's got a rock star sophomore child in high school here, a straight A student. She's received about 2 or 3 letters from MSU already trying to dip into the high school pool to say, hey, come this way. Is UM going to do they do the same thing, and is that something you might consider doing later, or how does that work?
We are, and in fact, we are looking at reaching students earlier, and we know that there's lots of ways to do that. We can certainly directly reach out to them with marketing materials when they're in high school. We're working with the Raise Me program, and students can come into that as a freshman, where you can actually get some financial assistance for good grades and leadership experiences in high school. But we also are really focused on, we know that those kids that come to Washington Grizzly Stadium when they're 8 or 9, they're forming an impression about the University of Montana, and they're forming an impression about what we're doing. So we really look at it as cultivating a relationship from the earliest possible age, and then ideally they come to the university, they graduate, they become alums of the campus, they eventually perhaps become supporters of the university, and that relationship persists well into their later years. And so we're cultivating that relationship at every level. So what I would say is certainly any student who has an interest in the university, even if you're a freshman right now and you're just not sure, but you want to give U of M a look, and I encourage people to do that and reach out to us and contact us, and we'll be happy to talk with you.
And we've mobilized the alumni network across the country to let us know if they do have children, neighbors, friends of friends, to give us their names, and so that we can reach out and talk to them and send them those brochures as well. So
the program you were talking about, was it Reach Me?
Raise Me.
Raise Me. Talk a little bit more about that, because as a parent of a child who will be forced to go to college no matter what, that has me intrigued. It'd be kind of nice, I guess, for parents to research that a little bit. So
sure. So the Raise Me program is made possible through some foundation funding, and we, the University of Montana, is a participant, as are many colleges and universities around the country. But you can basically go in, and for a high school student, and it's for your 4 years of your high school career, you can set up a profile and go in and enter your achievements. And it can be things like good grades, or if you're the student body president, or if you're the captain of your volleyball team, or any number of sort of accolades that you get as a high school student. Those can translate into scholarships if you choose to come to the University of Montana, for example. So you can build that portfolio throughout your high school career, and then if you make the decision to come to U of M, we translate that into some additional financial assistance for you.
How long has that been around?
It's relatively new. The program's been around a while, but U of M has been in it, I believe we're coming into our 3rd year involved with the program, and it's wildly successful. And you can go to Raise Me, if you Google that'll come up, and the University of Montana is a participating college, university in the program.
That's great, because those financial barriers are always going to be there for incoming students, and I like to think that UM is fairly affordable at this point. I know tuition's always going up and down. You get lots of reaction to what people have to pay for college. I know there's lots of scholarships out there, but has that been a barrier to think, especially when it comes to maybe some enrollment numbers?
I think interestingly, we, and certainly with the help of the Montana legislature, there's been much effort over the last decade to try to keep tuition largely flat, both at our 2-year and 4-year institutions. We're finding that particularly for out-of-state students, the University of Montana is a great deal from the standpoint of sometimes their out-of-state tuition is actually more economical than it would be for them to go in-state in their home state. That said, though, we also know that the vast majority of our students in the MUS system are Montana students, and we want to make sure that we keep college accessible and affordable for them as well. So that's something that we work really hard on all the time, whether it's merit-based aid or need-based aid, and those are things that, in fact, even at the legislature now, they're looking at ways to keep college affordable for Montana high school graduates.
The one thing I would say about the Raise Me program too, it gives you a double incentive because it keeps students engaged. Even as young as your daughter is, she can start getting engaged, and you get that reward along the way. And now they're not huge; they're micro scholarships, but when they add up, they're really nice, and they can really offset some of those expenses when you go to the school of your choice.
And it sounds like you build a relationship with the college before that's even really in your it's in the parents' view, but when you're in high school maybe not so much. Do you have events that you have that could help recruitment or introduce people to the school or gets people excited just about being in this atmosphere? Evidently so.
I was going to say, sorry.
That's okay.
I was going to say one thing that's great is the Schwanke Institute, and it's put on by our Davidson Honors College, and they're actually accepting applications now for rising sophomores and juniors in high school, and it's a chance to do a complete immersion for 2 weeks in the summer. It's like a college summer camp, and they live in the residence halls. They immerse themselves with the best faculty available on campus and really get a collegiate-like experience with other students from around the country. So that's one way to get really engaged, is to maybe come to campus over the summer and do one of those camps.
That's the best time to be on campus, really.
Yeah.
It really
is, right?
And we have, our regular programming includes UM days where we have high school students come and spend days on campus. But another thing, I think if there's anyone interested, if you want to come and be a Grizz for a day, that's something that we're working on, and we can really tailor that program. If you're a student that says, hey, I know it's a postgraduate program, I'm really interested in pharmacy, eventually how do I get my foot in the door? Like, what are the steps? And we can have you come to campus and eat at the food zoo and live in one of our residence halls and take in a theatrical performance or a sports event and really kind of see what it's like to be a University of Montana student.
I notice a lot when you're cruising through Facebook or anything, a lot of big schools have these huge online degree programs that make a ton of money. I know there are some things offered through UM. Is that as robust as it could be? Or how you can go to, I think Arizona State's got one, some of the bigger schools where you can literally get your master's, so it could be, interested to some alums who got their undergrad but maybe want more. Is that where it should be? You guys want to build that up?
We want to build it, and I think that is one of the great strengths that our new provost, Dr. John Harbour, brings to the University of Montana. He's got a lot of experience with digital education and distance learning, and one of the things we sort of call it upskilling too. You might be well into a career in your chosen field and are realizing that you need more skills, whether they're technical skills, maybe it's software or coding or some additional business or marketing. We're really trying to have those return learners as well. And the digital platform seems to be very conducive to that because people are all over the state and they have full-time jobs and families and other commitments, but being able to work at your own pace and study online. So that's an area where we are investing, and we are trying to expand our online offerings, both for our just regular core courses, but also looking at sort of these continuing education and certification and professional advancement types of courses that are aimed at the workforce.
And in alumni, we're looking for the sort of Grizz for Life concept or learning for life concept. So we'll be able to offer online courses with beloved faculty that maybe they took classes 10 years ago with, or this past fall, we offered a special digital marketing class to alums because if you are an alum from business and you graduated more than 5 years ago, you had no opportunity to take a digital marketing course. So we filled that course with local alums who wanted to boost their degree and their learning as well. So I have a set of twins who are sophomores on campus, and both of them actually enhance their schedule with online courses. So some of their courses are actually online even though they're physically on campus, and that allows them to really have a very flexible schedule.
You know, I wanted to mention too, if I could go back, Jill, because I know you mentioned you have a daughter that will be preparing for college in the coming years, and another area of investment that's a Montana University system-wide initiative, and certainly U of M is a big part of that, is the dual enrollment program for high school students to be able to take college-level courses. And they've dubbed this initiative 1-2 Free, which is your first few classes in the dual enrollment are free, and so an opportunity for students to try that. And that's another big affordability thing. I mean, my children are small, but that's something that I would guide them to. We've seen cases, in fact, in Billings where students can graduate from high school and have a full year of credits behind them. So actually be coming into college either as a late stage freshman or even as a sophomore. And I think even in some cases for folks that are super motivated, they could even conceivably come out of high school and be very close to an associate's degree, if not in hand. And so dual enrollment, we think, is another great way to keep those costs down. And we know that those students are set up and well supported because they're in high school, so they're home at night, they have great study skills. So that's another great opportunity. So I would encourage folks to check out the dual enrollment. You can check that on the Montana University System website, or really search dual enrollment and you can get some more information about that.
It's just so interesting how things are, you know, in my day you went all 4 years, just go, go, go. Now there's so many different ways to get that early start, to find new ways to get a college degree. I suppose as the school you have to look at all these ways, that the new way that people are living their lives and the way that they're learning, and then adjust your curriculum and your offerings based on that. It must be, as you try to keep ahead of that.
Yes, trying to be as nimble as the up and coming, you know, future workforce and those learners that are coming out of high school, and they have a different set of expectations in terms of their flexibility and their options and the variability and how they choose to learn and the delivery model. So those are all things that we, you know, are certainly looking to address.
And the Missoula College does a great job with that too. Yes. You can do both. Go there, and is that enrollment there? I didn't check the numbers for that, but what can you tell me about enrollment for Missoula College? So
Missoula College numbers look promising, particularly because we do have those dual enrollment numbers that are factored in there with the new initiative. But certainly that is continues to be an important program for us with workforce needs, and we have, you know, certainly students that are maybe returning for another career that they want to come in. They want to, as quickly as they can, acquire that professional certification or that new training and get back out in the workforce. And employers are willing to send employees to get that training because they know that when they can provide that, then they get some succession planning in their own workforce. So Missoula College is doing well, and we want to continue to see that grow and thrive and really serve the community.
And one thing that's unique about the Missoula College is that you do get those 2-year in their certificate programs, but you get a full-blown college immersion. You can stay in the residence halls, and you can actually you know, have that full college experience, and that doesn't happen everywhere. A lot of 2-year schools are very commuter-based, and so it gives our students really a unique opportunity to come here and study something like culinary, but still live in the residence hall, still go to Grizzly games, the whole
be right there because it's in such a good location.
Right.
When you talk to the public, is there anything that UM needs to look at as far as career or major opportunities? Like maybe you should focus more on computer science, or do you hear feedback? Like what's the wish list for maybe some incoming students who may want to do this rather than that? You know what I'm saying? Like what?
I actually have a little bit of experience with that just in a program we just did. We did a speed networking event with local alumni, where we had local alumni in a large room at tables, and students would come and they would have 3 minutes to interact with them. And really, truly, the message that a lot of these local, very successful business and professional alumni were talking about is be sure to concentrate on the breadth and depth and the ability to learn, because if you get locked into something particularly, it's going to change within 3 years, and that's probably the University of Montana's greatest strength, I think, is we teach people how to keep learning, and we give them the skills to make good learning, learning skills and have good learning skills. So
it's so important, obviously, as we talk all about this, to maintain that relationship with the community and prospective students, and that's why Charter Days, which was really the start of this whole conversation, you know, it's coming up, and it's important to pay attention to that. So
to celebrate that connection.
Exactly.
And, yeah. And our students, our faculty, and our staff that contribute to the whole of that.
It's pretty impressive. 126 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
good.
she's looking pretty good, I think.
Yeah. And we really want the community to come out and help us celebrate. I mean, this is your university, whether you are a graduate of the University of Montana, or you live in Missoula, you're a lifelong Grizz fan, or you take in theatrical performances and love to have that. I mean, that's one of the great things about a community, is having a university and the access to all of the opportunities that affords. So we want to really invite everybody. We're all together celebrating the University of Montana in 126 years.
And as we look towards Charter Days, and as people listen to this program, and especially prospective students, like, again, let's kind of go over where's the best place to find out about the dual enrollment and all the other.
Sure. So the university has a website, of course, that we put most of our information to. We also share on social media. But I think the best thing is there's really no substitute for one-on-one customized attention. So we would love to have folks call us at the university, and whether you're a high school freshman interested in dual enrollment, or you're a 50-year-old professional looking to upskill and take an online class, we would love to hear from you, and we would love to tell you what the university has to offer. And I think if you haven't set foot on campus for a while, give us another look, because I think there's some new and exciting things happening, and I think folks will be pleasantly surprised at what they see on campus.
And over the summer, the recruiting efforts will continue to lure in. Like, what are you going to do there? Like,
we have recruiters out on the road. We are trying to plan for campus visits, and again, opportunities to get folks onto the campus, especially when it is so beautiful in the summer, and really trying to tailor our programming and really make sure that our message about the University of Montana matches what's going on campus. And I think that effective storytelling is what's going to bring more people to the campus to take a look.
And I would say a myth now is that it's too late to apply for next fall. I'm out of financial aid. I can't get scholarships. And that really is a myth. If you haven't applied to the University of Montana, please do so, because all of our scholarships are available. So it's not too late, and that all goes all the way through the summer.
well, before we go, let's talk a little bit about the Charter Days Day. We have a graphic to show people where they want to come and help celebrate. It's coming up Wednesday, February 27th. It'll be at the UC Ballroom with the doors opening at 5, the ceremony at 5:30. Seth Bodner will be speaking, and then there's a reception to follow, just to celebrate the longevity that the school has had and the impact it's had on the state. Angela, what else is going to happen during this big event on Wednesday?
You'll get to know a little bit about the individuals that we're honoring. So what they do every day to live UM.
And they do this really without any recognition, although they ended up getting it in the long run.
Right.
Yeah,
Most of them are very surprised.
There's
when
some
they
surprised recipients, for sure.
Well, definitely a wide variety of
Yes.
professions and businesses, and that's wonderful. And I feel like it's these kind of people and those like them that are really helping to keep the community and the UM, really together in all of this, and it's kind of fun to celebrate that. So any final thoughts? We just have a little bit left. We've covered a lot of ground here, but
just want to say that it really is an honor to work at the University of Montana and to have the opportunity to see the lives of students transformed and to see them accomplish great things and the honors that they have and the experience that they have while they're there. And so again, 126 years, the University of Montana is here's to another 126 of changing lives and really being there for our students, and really looking forward with excitement about the things they'll do when they leave.
And I'd just like to thank all of our alums across the state and across the country who go into a situation and say, what can we do to make this better? That's the U of M way.
And you're so right. You could be wearing a T-shirt on the East Coast that has a Grizz on it, and somebody's going to stop you and say UM.
Yep.
That's right.
And go
That's
Grizz,
right.
and they know exactly what the sports records are and talk about their experience. So I guess that's a testament to maybe the experiences you're providing people around as they earn their livings and go out. And we like hiring guys and gals from the UM. They do a good job. Half of them end up as reporters for us. All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on Face the State. Again, any more questions you have about the programs offered by the University of Montana, they have a very robust web page, so go there. And don't forget Charter Days. It's coming up Wednesday, February 27th. So if you're in the Missoula area, stop by the University Center right around 5 o'clock. You can meet the people who are the award recipients who've contributed so much to the school that they love, and listen to Seth Bodner, who's a new president, talk about the school and have some treats. All right, thanks so much. We'll be back next Sunday on Face the State.
You've been watching Face the State, a presentation of MTN, the Montana Television Network.